Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to a series, not like something that's going to be here all the time on the channel, but a little series that I'm doing called Top 5s. Now if you were on the channel a few weeks ago, I was doing like a few top 10s here and there, but this is a little bit different. Them top 10s were done with intense research and, you know, they were more so trying to find out the order of which, you know, whatever I was talking about, whether it was flops or biggest bargains of Liverpool's history, it was more trying to find information to be informative, whereas this is more opinionated. So today I'm doing top 5 players who Liverpool need to sell in the summer, but then obviously as the weeks go by you can leave recommendations, we can change it up, but I'm looking only on doing maybe like a 10 videos on top 5s and we'll just see how it goes. But if you do enjoy, smash a like, subscribe, and do I need to explain any like rules and regulations? Basically it's just the top 5 players who I think need to go in the summer, and it is my opinion. But feel free to discuss in the comments down below, leave your top 5, like, subscribe, and let's get in to the top 5 players who need to leave Liverpool this summer. So at number 5, I feel like I'm going to upset quite a few people with the start of this list, and I just also want to clarify, this is in no real proper order, but I have to start off with this player because I just kind of want to get him out the way so we save the controversies for later. James Milner, and I have to go with James Milner, and I have to say he needs to leave in the summer because I get what people are going to say to me in the comments down below. I already see you commenting it. I already see that, oh, but James Milner, like, you know, he brings so much leadership to the squad. He's been through a lot. He's still very good. And all them things are very, very true. But let's also put it into this context. James Milner is 37. He's on 140 grand a week. More so than Gini Wijnaldum, Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Many midfielders that are younger than him. Again, rightly so for the fact of everything that he's done, everything that he's achieved. Not only at Liverpool, but in the Premier League. He's not just a Liverpool legend, people. So he does deserve wages that are comfortable like that. That being said, we're talking about Liverpool and what's best for the club. Would you really think a 37-year-old midfielder who, granted, can bring a lot of experience to the dressing room, do you think that's the most important factor? Do you think just experience alone is worth 140 grand a week? I don't know if it is. And it's not even necessarily the fact James Milner's on 140 grand a week. Don't get me wrong, it has a part to play, but I see players like a Gini Wijnaldum, for example, leaving the club because they're not going to be getting more wages. Well, I think if you use your common sense and you actually use your brain, FSG, then you think to yourself, well, James Milner, even though I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying James Milner's shit, but let's think for the best of the squad. Who's going to play more minutes out of Gini and James Milner? Gini Wijnaldum. Who's more versatile? I mean, don't get me wrong, man like James Milner literally done a season at left-back, so I'll give that one to James Milner. But it's still very, very close. And everything else that comes into it, quality, experience, leadership, even Gini Wijnaldum's got a lot of leadership. So why are we selling Gini but keeping James Milner? Do you get what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, if Gini goes, we're going to still need all the leaders that we can get in the dressing room, but we're still going to have them leaders. We're still going to have a Van Dijk. We're still going to have a Jordan Henderson. They're not going anywhere. James Milner will forever be a legend at this club, but when you ask me if I was to start letting go, not Deadwood, because that's massively disrespectful to the GOAT that is James Milner, but you know what I mean. In terms of moving forward, and you can't always go off nostalgia, because if we always went off nostalgia, Divock Origi would be at the club till he's 50 years of age. But nostalgia isn't always what's best for your football club. I feel like we've saw that with other teams like Manchester United. So I felt like I had to start off with James Milner and also heavily clarify why he's on this list. And it's not because I think he's shit. It's not because I don't feel like he has anything to offer to this team. I just don't feel like he gets any better, and he is only declining. Does not mean, I can't believe I keep having to clarify, does not mean I think he's shit. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree. Well, after I now feel like that, what was probably a very intense round of me telling you who the first player that I think Liverpool should sell in the summer, let's move into number 4. And at number 4, I feel like the next player we need to let go in the summer is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, what a man. Just what a man. Listen, mate, does he make me laugh? You're fucking too right, he does. Is his missus absolutely sensational? You're fucking too right, she is. And fair play to the fella because he smashed it in terms of coming to Liverpool, fulfilling a dream of playing in that midfield role, actually done it very, very well, was a crucial part to getting us to a Champions League final, was also, I wouldn't say he was massive and integral, but he still has a part to play in the Champions League and also the Premier League victory that we ended up getting following that. But since that 17-18 season, let's just be real about something. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has not been playing consistent run of football, and that's been due to injuries. He's also now 28 to 29 years of age, and we bought the kid for £40 million from Arsenal. FSG is someone who don't really like to lose money on players, and you're already losing a hell of a lot of money as it is on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. If you're going to sell Oxlade-Chamberlain this summer, you're most likely going to coop about 10 to 15 million, and I think 15 million might be even being ambitious in a COVID market when people take into mind of Oxlade-Chamberlain's injury record. So if you're going to look at that so say for example, say a West Ham want to get Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think that'd be a good signing, but there's no way they're going to be paying 15 to 20 million for a player who might not even be available. So they're going to think a little bit more strategic and think, do you know what, 8 to 10 million might make a little bit more sense. So we'll pay that, but I feel like we'll only still get that roughly 10 to 12 million pounds if we was to sell him this summer. I think if you waited any longer, you're paying him 120 grand a week to miss 6 to 12 to 15 weeks of the season, and then by the time that he is back, he's probably not going to be in the first team. So you're paying high wages for someone who's not going to play anyway, and for someone who's never really available, even if you was to play them. I feel like it's kind of a no-brainer. We need to make sure players like Naby Keita get given a proper chance, and you can have the debate of who's better out of Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita all you want. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter. Naby Keita, even though he's injury prone, is not as injury prone, and even though, you know, you can say what you want about who's better, Naby Keita has got about 3 years less than Oxlade-Chamberlain. Nostalgia is a very, very tricky thing, and I feel like we even fall into it with Oxlade-Chamberlain to some extent because of how much of a fucking gentleman he is. But in terms of moving forward from a football club, I just want to ask you the question, do you see Oxlade-Chamberlain getting any better? Because with all due respect to what is a fucking belter man, I don't think he does. So let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree. But at number 4, I go with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Then at number 3, and I feel like everyone's going to find some way to agree on this. I don't feel like we're going to agree for necessarily the same reasons, but I still feel like we're going to agree nonetheless. And I'm going to go with, at number 3, Jadan Shakiri. Reason being, he's simply just never there. He's never training. He's never playing first team football. And regardless whether he's injured or fit, it doesn't really seem to matter what influence that has in terms of his place in the squad. And I've always, like, even when we first signed Jadan Shakiri, I really liked the signing because I was hoping Liverpool would start to improve their squad depth. Signing Shakiri would have been a start of improving that squad depth. Of course, Stoke City went down. We bought him for what I believe was 13 million at the time. And it was looking like it was going to be a little bargain just simply for the fact that we needed a backup for the front three. And to have someone who had played for the Bayern Munich, had played for the Inter Milan, played for some very big clubs and played at a very high level. We knew he had quality. We knew that he could offer something. It just hasn't gone that way. Don't get me wrong. Not all bad. I mean, he's had some very, very good experience as well. You know, one game that springs to mind straight away is the Barcelona 4-0 game where Salah was out, Firmino was out, and he had to cover with Origi. And even though he weren't the best player on the day, I actually think I remember saying Jadan Shakiri was the worst player in that game against Barcelona. But because everyone was so good, they're all going to be remembered for being absolute fucking G's for just taking part in that fixture. And I believe he actually got an assist in that game as well. So I'll always love Jadan Shakiri for these reasons. Same with every other player who's on this list. But we want to get better. We want to improve as a club. And I don't feel like keeping Jadan Shakiri, who may also be, I haven't checked this, but he may also be 100k plus when it comes to the wage bill. Get that off the wage bill, bring in someone new, and maybe, just maybe, we could still get roughly 7 to 10 million for Jadan if we're being ambitious. We don't know, but either way, whether it's for free or whether it's for 10 million, I think we sell Jadan Shakiri, and that's why I've put him at number 3. Now at number 2, I have to go with what is... Do you know what? I don't even feel like a cult hero is the right word to use for this man, because Divock Origi will forever be not only a legend, but, like, what's a way, just like an unbelievable god of a man who will always forever have a special place in my heart. And there's not many men who have a special place in my heart because I don't swing that way. But for Divock Origi, he has a place in my heart, mate. And I'll tell you that for fucking free. That season, 18-19, I'm sorry, mate. Like, that actually should, if anything can, that should be able to get him a lifetime contract at Liverpool FC if he opted to choose that. And the fact that I'm putting him on this list feels very uneasy, especially when I'm speaking out loud, because I'm thinking of all them goals against Everton. I'm thinking of the goals against Barcelona. I'm thinking of the goal that secured almighty big ears for the 7th time. 6th time, sorry, why am I saying 7th time? 6th time. Still, soon to be 7. And, yeah, I just have to put him on the list, people. It's one of them things where 25 years of age, can he have something to offer to the squad? Yes. Could he possibly get better from now? Yes. But the fact that he's the only striker at the club as well just isn't good enough. It's not. You know, Bobby Firmino's not a striker. And you haven't even got the only proper striker at the club competing with Bobby Firmino. So, at the end of the day, regardless whether you think he's good enough or not, clearly Klopp doesn't think he's good enough, otherwise he'd play him more. Clearly, we're not looking on having him a part of many future plans because he's linked away every single summer. I feel like this is now the summer where we get to do that. And with the fact he's 25, with the fact he's still got a bit of a ceiling, use that to your selling marketing advantage and get a bit of dough for Divock Origi. He's still got a little bit of that hype from the 18-19 season as well. All jokes aside, he's still got actually a little bit of whatever's left of that hype train of what was in 18-19. I don't feel like that's completely demoralised and people think he's completely shit. I feel like there's many teams out there who will look at a Divock Origi and think, yeah, in our system, you'd work. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think we should sell Divock Origi, as I think he will probably be one of our biggest outs in terms of pay, like in terms of money in. So I feel like we could maybe get 15 to 20 million. We will just have to see. Time will tell. But in number 2, I'm going with Divock Origi. And then at number 1, and I feel like a lot of people won't have too many problems with this, but then a lot of other people will have many problems with this just for how good this player is. But the last player that needs to go in the summer transfer window is absolutely categorically Joel Matip. And I hate to say it, because when you talk about someone who, if he was playing week in, week out, you're probably looking at him. And listen, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't, so she's not. If your nan had wheels, she'd be a bike. That being said, if Joel Matip just plays week in, week out, we know that he'd be top 3 best centre-backs in the league. At least top 5. One of the better rated centre-backs in world football if he was to play week in, week out. But here's the issue, he doesn't. And this season, I really realised how good Joel Matip was, first of all, but also how unreliant he is. In a moment where we needed a centre-back to step up, he done that. But due to things out of his control, he couldn't turn up to work. And I feel like, especially in sports, the number one thing you can do, you know, besides being the best you can possibly be, is turning up to work. It's why I rate players like Gini Wijnaldum so highly, more so than just their ability alone. Turning up to work and staying fit and match fit, more importantly, to play 90 minutes of football is a hard thing to do. So I have respect for that. Joel Matip can't play more than 2 or 3 games. For a team and a club that I want to see winning leagues, Champions Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups, I want to win all of them. Even though the last 2 that I've just mentioned can be Tin Pot trophies, I still want them. And the way you win them is by having a squad of fucking champions and winners. And Matip is a winner and a champion, but he's not always available. And we need someone who's available. With rumours coming in about Kunate, with rumours coming in about other centre-backs about who's going to come into the team and maybe or maybe not make an impact. Regardless, I feel like one player we're going to need to look on selling, and we probably won't get a lot of money for Joel Matip, let's just be real. But I do feel like we should. I feel like, you know, if we can, maybe try and get a little 20 to 30 million, but even if it's not, we just need to look past that stage now and start looking beyond Joel Matip. We know how good he could have been, but let's not dwell on that. Let's now look at someone else who can come in, a younger centre-back who can maybe fill that void. Kabak's done a good job at that so far. Nat Phillips, Nathaniel Deeney, Van Phillips, and also, obviously, if Konate does come in, then I feel like, you know, over time, he can definitely learn the experience that Joel Matip did have. You know, Joel Matip isn't irreplaceable, but he's still very, very good, and he's going to be hard to replace. So that's why I struggle putting him on this list. And the reason why he's at number 1 isn't because I think we need to sell him the most. It's actually because it's the most devastating that I feel like he needs to go. Because out of everyone on this list, in terms of quality, I feel like Joel Matip is head and shoulders above everyone else. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments down below whether you agree or disagree. But people, that has been top 5, or my top 5 players who need to go in the summer. Whether this is sold, whether it's let go for free, I don't know. And I know there was a few shouts there. I know I started off with a bit of a mad one in James Milner. But hopefully, whether you agree or disagree, hopefully you can just see my points that I gave for that argument. And if not, I understand this is an opinionated video. But still, this was an emotional one. I'm not going to lie to you. 3 of these names were really kind of easy to put on the list. But it's also hard to not give these players the respect when you're talking about why they should leave. Does that make sense? So hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I kind of looked at both sides of the argument. That being said, if you did enjoy and you do look forward to like this little, I don't know, it might be like a 10-part series for all I know, but we'll find out. But if you do want to see another video of this, smash a like, subscribe. A Redmond roundup's going to be out later at about 8:30 or 9 on the channel UK time. So make sure you're there and make sure you're square. Thank you for watching. Have a belter. And yeah, peace out.